Welcome to Wine Down, the podcast where we talk about wine and everything that goes with it. Today we are doing pasta. We have Andrea Onetti.
Good
Did
morning.
I say it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Winning. Here we go.
He also goes as AKA Pasta Man.
Pasta man.
If it's easier, that works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's actually from Italy.
Rome, downtown Rome.
Woo. Amazing.
But you know what? We've been drinking all day. So, as you can clearly tell,
Let's
That's
drink
all
some
right.
more.
let's
I
drink
mean,
some
I
more.
thought my couch was
I'm
different.
here, you know.
But why don't we get these girls something to eat so they start falling over themselves?
Yes, please.
Can we go right into the pasta?
Yeah.
Cool. I got a wine for
Little
that.
clam pasta.
Wow, look at
So
that.
that's squid ink spaghetti with a little manila clams, nice and simple. Italian recipe, lemon, olive oil, garlic, nothing more than
Here,
that.
I'll hold the plate for you.
Oh, you got? Okay, sweet.
Is there a way that you serve the pasta though? Because I noticed you do a little twist before you place
Well,
it.
you know, if you want to be, and if, like, it's all about image in that sense. In Italy, we don't care that much about about the fanciness. We care more about flavors.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, a simple, very simple technique to plate long pasta is to use a ladle. And you just twist it in the ladle, which makes a little nice mountain, but, you know, not that grandma didn't care about that.
Grandma didn't care.
And I mean, my business motto is just like grandma used to, so.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So grandma taught you how.
You know, a little bit of stuff. Not everything, because you learn by making mistakes, but, you know. Are you sure? No?
I'm good.
All
Yes.
Vegans, right?
You know, it's a choice. It's their choice.
I love you for that.
But, you know, I don't condemn them.
We just need more guests that do that. You know?
I mean, you know, it's unfortunate because I'm not able. I mean, I make some vegan pasta too, so now that I know, for next time. But you know, it's a matter of texture with the pasta. The eggs, the protein gives a nice texture that you cannot achieve with water, but still.
So this is squid ink. Pasta,
Yeah,
right?
squid ink. You know, most of the squid ink in the world comes out of Spain, unless you're gonna go fish yourself your tacos in Canoe Bay. But you need a lot of them, so not worth it.
How much like squid ink makes like say a packet of pasta?
All right, let's see. Probably about 4 or 5 grams of squid ink per 250 grams of pasta. So, I mean, you know.
So it's very expensive.
Yeah, it is, you know, unless sometimes you find the gray ones, you know, the pasta that looks a little bit more gray. That's because they're cutting down on the cost, but,
Oh.
I see.
you know.
So the darker the color.
Yeah, obviously, the
more.
more squid ink there is.
And what does it add besides color?
Well, you know, when you cook with squid ink, like a risotto, it's a lot more fishy, sometimes strong, and people don't love it. Once you put it in the dough, it mellows out a lot. So, you know, it has a slight seafood flavor, but it's not overwhelming. So that's what I kind of like, because it's fun when you eat risotto and then you look at someone and you go, oh, black tea, you know, but you know, it's...
So I've never had this. It's not going to make my teeth black, right?
No, man.
So the wine I brought with the squid ink pasta, this is from a small island I've never been. Maybe you can tell me more about it. Called Salina, which is like 10 square miles in entirety, and there's like 2,000 people living there. But Vergona makes wine using indigenous grapes from Italy. So when I have this wine, and I love this pairing with anything con vongole, it's just so floral and so pretty. But there's also this salty saline thing going on. Like it kind of tastes like ocean water.
There is at the end a little bit of it. It's nice.
And it's really citrusy. So think of it like just like a squeeze of lemon
Yeah.
on the dish itself.
That's what I was thinking, lemon.
You say that after the fact.
So
I didn't want to be rude and interrupt him, but now I'm definitely going to interrupt you.
Please do.
So Selena, tell me where that is located in Italy.
Well, southern Italy, most of white wines comes out of southern Italy in that sense. This guy is probably, you know, I don't exactly know, Sicily?
Yep.
Okay.
Right off the coast of Sicily.
I mean, it definitely down there, you know, but It's I haven't never been to Sicily. Funny story. It's one of the two regions that I'm still missing out of Italy. Sardinia and Sicily, the two
islands.
Wow.
Yep, I never had the chance to go there. But no, I can definitely, there is nice, acidity to it, but like, that saltiness is very nice.
All right, well, we're gonna finish our dishes, finish some of our wine. When we get back, we'll talk more with Andrea. Rest easy with the new windows from Windows Hawaii, featuring Ali'i Extreme windows with their exclusive sound reduction and security package. Call 671-0808 today. 120-day peace of mind guarantee exclusively at Inspiration Interiors. Inspiration will refund you the difference if you find a lower price on identical merchandise delivered in Hawaii.
Wine Ad brought to you by Locations, whose team of trusted neighborhood experts have been helping Kama'aina to buy and sell homes since 1969. Locally owned and operated.
Welcome back to Wine and Pasta with Andrea, the pasta man. So you had some squid ink pasta, and it went very well with this pairing. What do we have next?
Next, we have a classic, not classic, in the sense of it's a classic ragu alla bolognese.
Wait, say that again.
Ragu alla bolognese.
Cool.
Gnocchi, and it's a very typical dish in Italy. The only thing that I don't do as if we were in Italy is that I don't use any veal or pork for religion and the veal, people's perception. So it's just like North Shore ground beef. So local beef, local beef. All the meats I use, I try to use local. Then the gnocchi are made by hand every day. We do make about 200 pounds a week. So we sell to a few restaurants and use it ourselves at the truck. So yeah, classic but not classic.
Can we dig in?
Please,
So I've heard about gnocchi, but
Yes, ma'am.
how do you make it? What is it?
Well, after 10 years, there is still different ways that you can do it. It's the fun part of cooking. There are many ways to get to a place. And as any job, knowledge is the most important thing. If you have understanding, then you'll be able to encounter problems or do something different and still get the same results. I do love to make gnocchi with hot potatoes, but that makes it a little bit fluffier, but it's really hard to work with them because you need to be really fast because of the hot potatoes. Then they start putting out moisture. So the easiest thing is to you buy your potatoes, you mill your potatoes, you let them cool, you let them dry. And then the next day you make your gnocchi. So it's kind of a 2-day process.
So it's potato based.
Yes, I mean, depending on what fluffiness you want to get, you do your ratios of flour or not, but.
So potatoes are gluten free, right? I'm joking.
Yeah.
There is 20-30% of gluten still in. But one thing with my flour that a lot of people I have encountered through the years don't have any problem is that I bring the flour from Italy, and that makes a big difference. Obviously, I always tell people that I don't know how their reaction will be, but I have several customers that don't eat any gluten in America, but they're able to eat this pasta.
Oh,
So
wow.
unfortunately, American flour is not very good. Sorry.
Speaking of American flour,
Sorry.
what do you think about Olive Garden?
If I wanted to feel really bad about myself for a day or two, I would go and apply. I had friends that told me to go apply just to make fun of me and see my face. But I told them that I can't use a microwave, so I'm not going to be able to work there.
Let's drink.
Microwave.
It's a microwave.
Everything has a right place and right
Exactly.
time. I mean, it's personally, I do have feelings for it because obviously I'm Italian and.
And on one hand, they do provide jobs for.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But then when someone comes to me and I had my ex-wife grandma that took me there because it was her favorite Italian restaurant, that was a hard night. I had to smile all night long, and that was really hard.
Cool. Let's get it. Let's try the pairing.
Garlic bread is good.
So the grape is Barbera, right,
Okay.
which doesn't get its fair shake, but is really a really well-known grape in Italy in the region.
Barbera, of course.
But here in America, not too many people drink it. I love this particular story about this producer, Cantine Valpane. He used to win all these awards in the early 19th century and caught the attention of this young man who didn't really have any money. He asked to buy the estate from an aging person who worked there, but was refused. So he instead worked there for 2 years on the advice of a housekeeper because he saw the man being so dejected that he couldn't buy this property. Earned the elderly man's trust enough to buy it outright, and now his name adorns the label.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Barbera has this really cool thing that it's floral but also really meaty and gamey and peppery.
It's not too strong, but it has some body to it. Pedimont, correct. So those wines up there are always, I feel they have the right amount of I'm sorry because in English I don't know some of those words. I'm like,
well, I don't know any Italian, so
I'm still learning English, so working on it. But the tanning, it's pretty there, but it's not overwhelming. It's not as soft as a Brunello, but still, it's not too strong like a Valpolicella, but
It's a very in-between kind of style.
Well, that's
it's
a really
Goldilocks.
good description, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll tell you the rest when we get back.
Wine Ad brought to you by Locations, whose team of trusted neighborhood experts have been helping Kama'aina to buy and sell homes since 1969. Locally owned and operated. The Hawaii Symphony Orchestra returns to in-person concerts at Hawaii Theater and the Blaisdell. Visit myhso.org for tickets and information.
Welcome back. All right, we're here with Andrea, eating pasta, drinking wine, talking about Olive Garden. So, do you like...
Very nicely talking nice.
Yeah. Do you like al dente pasta, or is that... What is
funny story. I went back to Italy a couple of years ago, and my mom took me out for dinner, and they know the restaurants where she goes, they know her. She's very particular. I can eat the pasta she eats because it's crunchy. It's like, they know her, they know that she doesn't like it super cooked. But when I got the rigatoni, it was like crunchy, and I was like, Mom, what's going on? And her answer was like, you're becoming American. Now, the problem with al dente a lot of times that I encounter is that you don't really have al dente concept with fresh pasta because you are not rehydrating. There is the eggs that gives you texture, there is the flour. So the only thing that you can do with fresh pasta is cook it right or overcook it. If you undercook it, you're gonna feel that it's doughy. The box pasta instead, that is dehydrated, you are rehydrating the process. So you want to keep, and there is no eggs. So you want to keep that little white eye to give you the bite, so it's not mushy. So that's a little different. Now, when people come and ask me for al dente pasta, I know that I need just to cook it right. So they're happy.
There is a shift between consumers now, thanks to you as well, moving to better pastas, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and it's not about better pasta. I think it's just more people are more knowledgeable about what goes on around the world. They travel, they understand, so they're not gonna settle for the endless garlic bread. Sometimes it's okay, but some other times you want quality over quantity.
I like that.
But it's always, again, it's always a time and place for everything. I don't mind Casco pizza. Right. But if you want to eat really good pizza here, you go to Edie, and they do that.
Hey,
that's my standard.
We had them on the show.
Okay, so that's my standard for pizza. I worked with Aker long ago at Prima, so he knows how to do things, and I want to go home and just get a little bit of that, and that's how you do it.
I love that. Is there another dish for us to eat?
Of course,
please?
yeah. This one is a little bit more, this one is a fun plate because you guys had some guests that actually are part of the dish, Manoa chocolate.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we are using, it's a classic gorgonzola walnut Italian dish, but then it's a little bit, the walnuts are candied, so a little spicy, and then there is finished with the cocoa nibs.
We need to get into that right now.
This one is a
can't wait
fun one.
anyway.
Yes, please.
Cool.
So hopefully,
That is a large and charged spoon.
and I'm sorry.
No, it's totally
You know,
fine.
next time, I promise I'll get you some.
Christopher.
Are we trying a new wine?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we are.
So I think this one is really nice because it's a sweet gorgonzola. Then you have, this hopefully little spiciness of the walnuts, and then the nice bitterness of the cocoa nibs.
That's great. So we poured a wine from Piedmont already, the Barbera, right? This is Barolo, so king of wine and wine of kings.
Alrighty.
So the Barolo is slumbering away in the cellar because this is a wine that absolutely needs
Ooh, I
time.
like this.
And this particular winery, this is the Vigna Vecchie. So it's maximum amount per year of cases that they do is 250 cases. So it's extremely rare.
Very limited.
But you'll see that this wine is it's big, it's large and in charge. There's a lot of things going on there. With the bitterness is everybody wants to stay away from bitterness, right? Nowadays.
It's balance.
Right.
It's not about bitterness. I don't like a lot of things singularly.
Exactly.
But then if you put them together and you have the right balance, which unfortunately I feel that sometimes here in America, that's what we are lacking, balance. People wants to be hit with flavors, with fat, with stuff, and it's always like with balance and patience, you can achieve a lot of flavor. The thing that I always wonder when I eat in Italy versus I eat here, I go out to eat, I eat one plate that has the trifactor, carbs, veggies, and proteins, and I feel bloated. I go to Italy, I eat 3 plates of pasta, a pizza, I take a walk, and I'll have some ice cream.
Wow. Okay, well, we're gonna wait on that. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we're gonna finish the story. That is crazy.
Yeah. So we were just diving into this pasta, which by far is my favorite of all of the pastas we just tasted. But also the differences in having the pasta here and then going back home and not feeling bloated. That's mind-boggling. Like, why is that?
I have no idea, but again, when I go back, I eat for pleasure. Here I eat for survival. It's and unfortunately, here I eat a lot. I mean, people always tell me to eat more, and I'm like, I work a lot. Don't worry, I do eat pasta 3 times a day, so it's fine. But it's just different. It's the pleasure. I really don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I can say, oh, it's the GMOs or this or that. I don't know. I just know that when I eat here, it's really different from when I eat there. But yeah.
It's funny how you mentioned, like, in America, we want the flavors to hit us, and so it's different. We didn't really take their time, but same with wine, because in American or New World wine, I'm learning New World wine, it kind of just hits you a little differently too, right?
That is...
Right.
Proud Papa over
It's
here.
us.
There you
I'm
go.
so happy. Wow. That's great.
Well, like with wines, American wines, a lot of time, for example, I have a lot of difficulties digesting because they add sulfates, a lot of stuff it's added to achieve what it's in Europe. But what it's achieved in Europe is just through time and history, It's like, don't get me wrong, there was a battle on a field, 30,000 people died. In the long term, you think about the iron content of the ground.
Yeah.
It's silly stuff, but it's stuff that people don't understand here in America because there is the availability of everything at every time.
No seasonality, especially in Hawaii.
Yeah, and in general, you can just walk to a place and get everything. Like my dad used to grab his veggies from the farm by his house, grab his fruit from the tree. So it wasn't season, you get no fruit. You don't go to Whole Foods, you don't go to Foodland, it's just like you wait. And you know, but
And
then
us Americans, we don't wait.
Yeah.
but that's different, you know. It's like then you start thinking, you know, it's not only like there is a historical thinking behind, you know, how the society has developed here and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, you know, it's just I am not super nice about it because I'm from there and I see those things. But then if you want to give a bigger thought, you know, historically, for example, American food should be the greatest in the world because there are so many communities, so many people. But then you're like, okay, let's think about how things went through history. You know, women emancipation, microwave dinners, everything has destroyed the culture of food that was present and it's restarted in the last 20 years. So, you know, it's kind of like, it's always like, to me, it's really like, why is the food so bad? It should be so good. Because you have so many different cultures. But then, you know, because of other external factors, people didn't cook anymore in America.
It is a dying art.
Wow.
So, you know, in the last 20 years, people have restarted to, you know, taking care of where they were coming from, you know, embracing the culture where the food, the culture where they are coming from, and that's bringing back up a bunch of stuff.
Especially in here. There is
Hawaii,
a
I
groundswell
mean,
of Hawaii.
that's
Hawaii
why I
cuisine.
love Hawaii. I mean, I would never, I mean, I'm sorry, USA, but I would never live on the mainland because it's so different. Hawaii, to me, is very similar to Italy because of the Ohana, the family, you know, those concepts that are very not much American in that sense, you know. So, yeah, no, Hawaii is very awesome.
So what are some of the dishes or like traditions that we have that are similar to Italy besides the family factor and the
Well, it's just, you know, it's really, it's not about the food itself, it's about how you live food. Like Imo style, you know, it's a family affair. It's like making pasta, you know. Grandma was making pasta, but then you help out. And at dinner time, everything is better because you all work together. And something that a lot of time people are just buying food, they don't get that because it's like $10. But then, you know, there is such more depth to food. Food is life. Food is food is life. So I mean, what's deeper than that, you know, right?
Wow.
Some of my best trips, like vacations, are with friends and surrounded in the kitchen, and we're all chipping in.
Yeah, the best wine is drinked with friends. You know, everything is better when you're around love and food and everything. You know, it's the perception that you have.
Well, on that note, why don't you tell our audience why we can buy your stuff?
So easiest thing to contact me, it's online, Instagram. I'm not super high tech because I work with fire and knives. So Onda Pasta on Instagram. You can find the pasta at Foodland. You can find the pasta at the farmer's market on Saturday, Kaka'ako, and Sunday, Kailua. Foodlands, Alamoana, Kahala, and Alamoana, Kahala, and Kailua. And then several restaurants, or, you know, just write me.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you for having some good wines in the morning.
Don't forget to catch us on the extended version on YouTube. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment below, and visit us on Instagram, Wine and Podcast. We'll see you guys there.
Salute.
Hey guys, welcome to the extended version of Wine and Pasta. So I asked this before we started filming, but is garlic bread actually a thing?
Is it Italian?
No, it's not.
So bread at the table, I think.
Bread is at the table,
Okay.
but see, the thing is that in America, with the oil, the bread is a vessel for later on. So, you know, you finish your plate, you got a little bit of sauce in the plate, you use your bread to scoop out the sauce and eat it. You don't want to fill up yourself in bread. But that's the other thing. We have so many different courses. You know, you got the first course with the pasta, then you get your steak, then you get your side, then you get yours. And at the end of the day, it's so funny because we eat more than Americans. Like if I look at what people orders, we eat more. We're just sitting there longer and things happen in a different way.
Is there always wine at the table? Like growing up, were there always?
You know, my dad is from Piedmont, so.
Really?
Yeah,
So I did well with them.
I was super stoked, you know, and you know, this is on a note. I'm a real Italian.
Oh,
You're gonna appreciate that.
Can you actually? We got to see that real quick.
Well, I'm sorry about again.
This is
I'm
extended
full of
version, you're
sorry
good.
in life
No,
because of
you-
America. But a lot of people like comes to the market and they're like, I'm Italian, and I'm like, and I start speaking Italian, and I'm like, not that kind of Italian. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, oh, my family, I'm from Jersey. And I'm like, oh God. and unfortunately, all the time, it's like, and so for fun, I got the DOCG from the wine.
No way.
So that DOCG.
Means denomination, origin, control, and guarantee.
Okay.
Because I'm a real Italian.
Wow.
But yeah, that's full of fun.
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
So this is the stamp of approval,
Yeah.
right? Like this guarantees authenticity.
That you come from the region, that you're made that way, and then you are solid.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because I literally was gonna say, like, you know how you watch, they have some shows on Bravo that are talking about, they're Italian and they make the sauce and the pasta. Like, are those? I mean, they do speak.
I don't. Again, like it's a process. So someone that immigrated 60 years ago had certain views and this and that. So I'm not judging. It's just that a lot of the perception is that it's Italian, and it's not. It's Italian American, which has the place and time again. But then when you're starting to like doing a clam pasta with bacon, I get it. It's not that I don't get it, but it's not classic. You want to do a beautiful carbonara and you put a poached egg on top. I get it, it's fancy, but that's not what a carbonara is. Call it something else.
What is a carbonara?
I mean, the carbonara should be just egg wash, and then you put a little bit of the guanciale fat in there, and then cheese, and you make things happen with your knowledge. But because people doesn't know, they use cream that makes everything easier. But again, I love knowledge because it empowers people, and if you have understanding, then you can do things. And that's all it is. If you just take a recipe, when I do like pasta classes, everybody's like, oh, do you have a recipe? I'm like, you don't need it. You need to understand what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If you go home, I want you to understand what's going on. I don't want you to call me and ask me, hey, what's the recipe?
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm just taking your money. It's pointless. Instead, if I can send you home with a knowledge that is going to help you out, that's what sharing is caring is about in anything.
Technique and process over paint by numbers.
Yeah, because you take a recipe that was written in Siberia, it ain't gonna work out here. There is moisture, there is heat, there is so many things to take in account.
Ingredients are different.
So it's like recipes are like it's telling you, it's a guideline, and then you do your own things. But you want to have some knowledge. If not, you end up screwing up.
True.
I mean, in any job, it's like if I was gonna like present a talk show, it would be a shit show all day.
I don't know. I think you'd be pretty good at it. I would
You're doing a
whatever.
fantastic job right
Yeah.
now.
But the wine helps.
Wine helps everything.
Indeed.
Wine helps everything.
But that's that kind of stuff, It's like anybody with knowledge is gonna do a better job than someone that doesn't have it.
So when people take your raw product, because I know that you sell to restaurants as well, and I'm sure you've eaten at the restaurants, you've supported the restaurants that support you, for sure.
Try.
Is there any dish that like sticks out and you're like, wow, that's? I mean, obviously your pastas are a blank slate for people, but is there any dishes that stick out?
With the island, sometimes I struggle because there is a lot of Japanese fusion. So, it's like I don't get a mentaiko pasta, but it's me. The place that I do appreciate the most of the old people that I sell to, it's Rigo. Because Rigo, they do say that they are fusion. They do, you go
So they own their inner authenticity is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like you go there and there is not for me an expectation of getting a classic ragu. But they have that ragu, for example, that has a little bit of cumin and that mascarpone cream on top that is almost a plate on a taco, but with an Italian dish, and it's really awesome. But it's always about, if someone is telling you, hey, come and see this, and then you show up and he ain't.
False advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Not to everybody else. You know, it goes back to America versus, you know, Italian and that kind of stuff. But again, there is a lot more people that nowadays knows. So, you know.
So somebody's buying your pasta, let's say from the farmer's market, and like, are there any particular tips that you could give to, like, say, the novice person that's not necessarily worked with this style of pasta, that only had, like, you know, the dry pasta in the blue box?
I mean, the thing that people usually talk is about how faster it is. You know, you're like 2-3 minutes and you're done. There is a lot more flavor, obviously, because of fresh eggs, you know, the flour, a little bit of couple of things that I put in the pasta, can't say, but but you know, it makes it really easy to just eat like butter and cheese pasta in that sense. I tell people when I'm lazy and I want to be fancy, butter and cheese, fried egg, it's awesome.
Yeah?
You know, that kind of stuff. So no, really, you need to do whatever you want. Food is, you know, you need to be happy. I'm not you. So if you want to overcook your pasta, just do it.
If you want to eat crunchy pasta, just do it.
I mean, you know, who am I? You know, I got my ideas. I'm opinionated as an Italian. I'm gonna say something, but the bottom line, you do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt nobody else. It's life. It's what everything should be, right?
So when you go back home and say you know, you're cooking in a restaurant there, obviously people are going to have their opinions, like you're saying. Is it very competitive back home within the chefs? Or?
Well, every single Italian, even every single of my friend, aerospace engineer, is going to tell me how to make pasta. But that's one thing with Italians. If they don't know something, they're going to teach you about it. You know, a German person doesn't know something, he will go study. A French is maybe it's gonna be like, oh, that's not interesting. You know?
Yeah.
We don't know, so we teach you. Which is, you know, sometimes I look at people, I'm like, I've been making pasta for 10 years. You make airplanes. Why are you telling me what to do? It's like, do I tell you where to put the wings? But that's Italy. So I mean, you know, it's very competitive in that sense, and everybody has an opinion. It's just fun because. If you're smart enough, you listen to the little things that someone knows that you didn't know, and you gain something. And that's what cooking is, you know. I learned how to clean shrimps the best way out of one of my dishwashers.
Really?
Yeah, because he spent all day cleaning shrimps. So he figured out a way to be smart about it. I was the chef. I'm like, you do that. So I mean, I'm classic, you know, I'm cutting. It takes me 20 minutes. Nobody's gonna tell me to go faster. So that's the thing in a kitchen. Like a lot of times, chefs think they arrived, but there is always someone that knows something. A grandma that told you one little trick that you don't know, and you need to be there, open to listen. If not, you're just a dumb chef. You know? Oh,
Transparency.
Indeed, I'm sorry, guys.
No, don't apologize. That's
But
true.
that's the thing, you know, nowadays, it's like nowadays we spend so much time talking about sustainable and organic, right? What's the point of charging $35 for a dish and then going around? Who are you catering to? And that's why I love farmers market. That's why I have a food truck, because if I start having servers, bussers, managers, the price goes up and then I lose the point of what I'm doing. I want to feed everybody. I don't want people to go to McDonald's. I don't want people to go to Olive Garden because it's cheap. I want them to come and get my product that is good for them and is at the right price. So, you know, it's like we can be all Instagram talker. Everybody's good on Instagram, you know, we can be like, oh yeah, let's promote this guy, promote that guy, buy fish, buy that. But then, again, if you're charging $35 for 3 ounces of food, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I mean, fine dining has its space, you know, I'm not saying no. But it's like French Laundry. They have a garden right by their house. How can you charge like $50 for one pea? It's like, but I'm from Italy, so you know. I wasn't raised in Napa Valley, so. But that's the thing with food in Italy, you know. It's for everybody. It shouldn't be like up there.
Food for everybody.
I like
Love
that.
that.
What brought you from Italy all the way to Hawaii, and how was that transition and culture shock for you?
Well, I first moved to Seattle,
Okay.
so I lasted there 3 years. The gray got to me, and I was here with my in vacation in November, and I was like, okay, the water seems like my bathtub. And I was like, this is warm. Never been there. And 6 months later, I was back here. That was 12 years ago. And I mean, again, it's Hawaii. It's a good. It's Ohana. It's that close community. Everybody knows everybody. That feels a little bit like home.
You feel that sense of collaboration here in Hawaii?
Yeah,
Everybody talks about you. Like really, everybody talks about so many different chefs.
Whoopsie.
Have you? Yeah, like, man, that guy, that pasta guy. Yeah, stay away from him. Doing your show? No, everybody does. They have such great things to say about you, and a lot of people like these top chefs. Leanne Wong uses your product all the time, and she
funny story
loves you.
about you. You want a funny story about Leanne? We were doing taste with Mark 10 years ago. She walks in the kitchen. I'm like, who are you? It's like, why are you in my kitchen right now? It's like, I'm working. And she was like, oh, you're the pasta guy. And I was like, what? And Adam, I don't know if you know Adam Locke.
Adam Locke, yeah.
Adam was in the back, be like, top chef, be nice. And I was like, I don't care who it is. I was being really Italian about it. I was like, get out of my kitchen, I'm working here. And she's great because she uses my product and I love to eat her food. The thing I think that sometimes I might come as Italian, it's not that kind of like a little bit, not SPC or that kind of stuff.
Pretty direct, a little more direct.
I just try to do what I think is right. I try to help. Yeah, I try to do a good product at a decent price. If you don't like it, dude, go somewhere else. It's fine with me. Everybody needs to work.
Yeah.
And it's part of the free hugs policy where you
Wait,
love.
do that again.
Free hugs. Oh.
No, but they're free, but they're not for everybody.
No.
That's the misunderstanding that people has because they're like, oh, hug. I'm like, no, they're free, but not for everybody. But still, it's like you got to be in that state of mind where you wanna be happy, and you do your things. You're happy when you go home, and everything is okay.
I thought it said free drugs. Sorry.
I knew you were gonna say
I'm a kitchen person.
Cheers. We have to actually wrap this
That
up.
one is over here.
We have to actually wrap this up one more time. Where they can find you on Instagram.
Instagram, Onda Pasta, Foodland, restaurants, or farmers markets.
Perfect. Let's cheers on that. Thank you for coming.
Salute.
Salute. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.